Namaste, Jai Shivai. I am making videos again recently, and I am sorry for all the light reflection that you will see, but in Australia the sunlight is really, really bright, and if I try to save sunlight and make these videos in a quieter place inside the house, then there is no quiet place because all of us are working from home and kids are doing their schooling from home. So there's a meeting or a class going on in every room in my house, and I'll end up recording a lot of background noises and meetings and classroom stuff that I do not wish to do. So bear with me if this sunlight is reflection is too much and light is creating a lot of nonsense here, but it is the way it is for me. And okay, so today I'm going to explain you something very important about the human architecture, human design. Okay, so you see, there is, if you have watched my Sankhya Darshan videos, then it will be a lot easier for you to understand where I am coming from. But you will understand regardless. Still, if you want to watch, I really recommend that before watching this video, you do watch Sankhya Darshan 01, 02 and 03. 3 videos I have created on Sankhya Darshan, so you do watch them. So when we talk about human design, human architecture, the subtle body architecture, I'm not talking about the physiology, anatomy of this physical body, no, talking about your subtle existence. So we have aham, right? On top we have aham, and aham does not mean here the ego as an emotion. No, aham does not mean ahankara. So ahankara is born out of one identity or some identities, but it is aham which ultimately from where all the other identities are born, because of avidya, because of agyana, means the gyana that binds you, that puts you in bondage, that kind of distorted wisdom, if you would like to call it that. So because of all that distorted wisdom, wrong kind of wisdom, we get bounded here. So that is, there is aham, and below the aham in that diagram, if you just picturize in your mind that there is aham on top, and then there is buddhi. Buddhi means your intellect. Okay, so aham and then buddhi, and this buddhi on left hand side, create another circle and write down manas in it. Manas means your lower mind, your logical mind, the mind which takes the inputs from eyes, ears, nose and tongue and speech and all kinds of stuff, all your 5 senses. So manas is that very thing which takes the inputs from 5 senses and then comes up with a logical rational explanation of something or understanding, or so this is on the left hand side. And then there is on the right hand side you have chitta. Chitta is a storage house of all kinds of memories, all kinds of learning, good or bad, that you have done, not just in this lifetime but all the other lifetimes. Okay, so it's the place where your sanskaras, the seeds of your chitta vrittis are. It's also the place where your chitta vrittis are going to play out, and then when they play out, they go to the manas. Okay, they try to connect. Manas tries to come up with logical rational explanation of it, that okay, so I had this experience, I had this memory, or I met this person and this person is like that. So now your logical mind says, oh, he's still like that. Okay, that person is cruel or jealous or whatever, and he or she is still like that. So that is how these 4 things function. So buddhi is the deciding factor which finally says, okay, so from chitta, from the storage warehouse of memories, of sanskaras, of chittavrittis, of vasanas, from the storage warehouse, this is the data that I have on this person. And your senses, five senses are saying, okay, so this person is right in front of you. Let's see what is his or her hidden purpose with me right now. So Buddhi says, okay, this person is still like that. I knew it. This person. So Buddhi is a deciding, discriminating factor, right? And discerning factor. So Buddhi does that. Intellect does that. Buddhi means intellect. So intellect is constantly doing that. So by and by, slowly, initially when a young soul is born, or young soul in the sense that they have not yet started their spiritual journey, to them I am referring to as young souls, not necessarily young as in age wise, not that kind of a young. I'm talking about young souls, those who have not experienced enough sukha or enough dukkha, enough pain and enough happiness in this lifetimes after lifetimes, to be able to understand that nothing can give you everlasting happiness, nothing can ever give you everlasting peace. So that understanding, that level of vairagya has not happened, that level of dispassion hasn't come. To them I am referring to as young souls. So when people are young, or they are not going on their spiritual journey, for them life is still about owning a house and a car and having kids and living peacefully and becoming a good citizen, from time to time doing some charity here, something there, living a normal human being life, normal worldly life they are living. Okay, and their aspirations are as such. So such people have their buddhi being shadowed, if you want to understand it that way. Their buddhi is being shadowed by their chitta and their manas. Their own subtle body they don't see, so they don't have aspirations for their subtle body. They do not feel bandhana yet to able to try to attain moksha. Right? They have no knowledge of that, because all the five basic chitta vrittis, avidya means distorted wisdom, agyana, wrong wisdom, and then asmita, whole lot of identities, and that too are very powerful, strong identities. And then raga means attachment, dvesha means aversion or hatred, or whatever you want to give it, some more synonyms to that. So raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means fear of change, fear of unknown, fear of just losing something or somebody. Okay, so all that kind of fear, all fears come under that abhinivesha part. So when these five chitta vrittis from the chitta has a hold on buddhi, then buddhi is impure. Buddhi is not pure. So buddhi will always will ask for proof from lower mind, logical, rational explanation of anything and everything. So if God is not visible, Paramatma is not directly visible to them through this eyes and these ears, through their physical body, then he or she does not exist. If their own Atma is not visible to them, or is not in their direct perception of their physical body, then it does not exist for them. So right, that's when the buddhi is clouded by or overshadowed by chitta and looks towards manas. Why do we call manas as lower mind? Then if manas is lower mind, then where is the higher mind? What do we call as higher mind? Higher mind is that which does not rely on proofs from your physical existence. From the physical part of your, gross part of your existence, it does not rely on proofs from it. That is what higher intelligence is. Like, what is the rational explanation of Ramanujam coming up with so many 4,000 theorems, mathematical theorems? What is the logical, rational explanation? Even he did not knew, and nobody with a lower mind will ever try to understand, will ever be able to understand that How can somebody come up with direct formulas without going step by step by step by step? How can Beethoven come up with Symphony number 10? How can Van Gogh or Mozart and these people, how can they come up with something like that? So 100 years ago, Ramanujan gave a theorem, a formula completely, which we are using today to understand black holes. How can somebody give a formula like that? What is the rational explanation behind it? There is none. What is the logical, rational answer that you would understand from the physical body perspective? What Manas will not understand it. Manas is a we call it lower mind because it's a very, very, very limited faculty. Very limited, it's limited in its capability to help you understand how can somebody be like that? How can somebody has wisdom like that? How come the gyana of Vedas just appear within, inside the Buddhi, inside the this entire thing, this combination of aham, Buddhi, Manas and Chitta, this whole thing we call as antahkarana, field of antahkarana. So how can this wisdom appear? A wisdom of Vedas, wisdom of Gurus, wisdom of moksha, wisdom of yoga. How does it? It appears from within. Usually what you understand about knowledge and wisdom, that we acquire it from the outside world, right? If you want to ride a bike, you go take a bike and you learn about it, and then only you will know how to ride a bike. Only if you go to math class and you attend the math class from all the way from 1st grade till 12th grade, then you will know what is Pythagoras theorem. No. Only when you learn the music from A, B, C and all the sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, only then you can write a symphony like Beethoven. No. Why did the gyana? How come the gyana? That something that complex, something that much of beautiful was arising from within, from people. Even this very simple wisdom that I am talking to you about now happened to me from within. Nowhere from outside this was so clear to me that Buddhi is overshadowed by Chitta. So the Gyana becomes polluted. Gyana is either the wisdom that I have, the desires that I am going to have will always and always be propelled by either avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha. Abhinay, which I did not have in this lifetime. So I cannot give any examples of that. So my desires, my efforts towards in this world are always going to be propelled from all of these. Desire in themselves are not so bad. So whatever your buddhi comes up is not going to be so bad until unless it is propelled by something in the chitta. So that means I am having impure jnana. So even this design, this architecture, how did it came? How did that understanding happen to me? I did not have any guru in the body in this lifetime, and guru is the one who is not in the body, wasn't indirectly teaching to me this thing. Then later on I figured out that yes, Patanjali was teaching the same thing. Sankhya Darshan has the same thing. Maharishi Jaimini, they also taught the same thing. Yeah, a little bit in different terminology because thousands of years ago those timelines were different. The examples that we come up with in order to help you understand anything were different at those times. Okay, so the examples, the way we apply the wisdom practically in our day-to-day life, that is different in these times. But essentially the human architecture, the design remains the same. Okay, so how come? What is the logical, rational explanation of all these things? Where is the higher mind? The higher mind that we call, that is not bound by the limitations of your impure buddhi and your manas, lower mind, is actually Vigyanamaya Kosha, the fourth layer of body that we have. So we have this physical body which we call Annamaya Kosha, then we have our energy body that we call Pranayama Kosha, and then we have our mental emotional body that we call Manomaya Kosha, and then the fourth one is Vigyanamaya Kosha, the kosha which consists of higher intelligence and which opens up only when we have buddhi that is pure enough. If your buddhi, if your intellect is not pure enough, that layer of Vigyanamaya Kosha remains shut. Because no matter how much of the otherworldly wisdom or wisdom that is way far away in future is given to you, you cannot do anything about it. Because your buddhi is so much being controlled by chittavrittis, all these 5 chittavrittis, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha and abhinivesha. Your mind is, buddhi is still so much controlled by and rely on the inputs from the lower mind, the rational and logical explanations from your lower mind. Will not understand the wisdom that goes beyond universe, that goes beyond creation itself. So Vigyanamaya stays shut. Only when somebody's buddhi attains purity enough, is not less, not much raga or dvesha, not many identities to play with or anything like that, that's when the cosmic wisdom, the wisdom from higher minds, starts happening to you. In other words, starts appearing within your antahkarana. Remember what I said, antahkarana is these 4 faculties. Antahkarana is buddhi, aham, buddhi, manas and chitta. That is antahkarana. So that gyana, that wisdom, that cosmic intelligence starts happening to you, starts appearing within your antahkarana. Only when your buddhi, your intellect, is not shadowed, is not overpowered, is not ruled by your own mental behavior, emotional patterns, your chittavrittis. So whenever a desire is happening to you, whenever, just see whether it is propelled by any of these things. Is it just a greed? Is it just coming out of the avidya that, no, if I get this car, I will be happy. If I get that mobile, I'll be happy enough. If I get that girl in my life or that boy in my life, that man in my life, oh, I am all set. My life is going to be super happy and story of happily ever after. If you have all such ideas, then definitely your buddhi is shadowed by chitta. And if you still look for, yeah, but I can't see, yeah, but I can't hear, oh, what is the proof if I haven't tasted that or I haven't heard about it directly? I haven't seen Paramatma, he never talked to me, so it does not exist. We were just born out of Big Bang. So if you are thinking this physical body is the ultimate source of truth, or is this physical body is the ultimate tool to give you every kind of direct perception, then you are wrong. Okay, so whenever this happen, always keep this design in your mind, that aham, buddhi, chitta and manas. Okay, keep this design in mind. Analyze your day-to-day desires, thoughts, emotions using this design. It is very helpful for doing introspection. Is my desire propelled by avidya, distorted wisdom, wrong wisdom? Is my desire is just a propulsion of energy because of my attachment or my aversions or my fears? Am I trying to do something because of my fears? So this helps, this tool, this design is a tool for you to do some introspection. Namaste. Jai Shiva.